I came across an interesting story, and I did put a video out before on sun gas, and I don't know how much of reality that is right away, but it's a potential technology whereby they could take the power of the sun and actually come up with an end result liquid fuel from that. But it looks like, and I'm going to tell you this, there's a caveat to what I'm going to be saying here, because usually when there's a story out like this, you make a conclusion that the world is going to change right away, and actually the opposite direction will occur right away. But anyway, what's going on is there's a company now that has a method to take natural gas, which the USA has plenty of, and turn it into actual liquid fuel. They always used to have ways of, and this is like an actual thing that's going to actually implicate major changes in the globe per se, and actually the status of the United States, what's going to happen to OPEC long term, and even how it could impact the price of metals long term. And I don't know if you're going to be liking this video, but I'm not going to be playing games here like freaking cheering on the BS garbage like the alternative media does. But I'll cut right to the chase though. I still think that oil, silver, and gold will super spike. Spike means a peak, and it comes back down. I was always saying that the dollar I don't think is going to fall. It's like, I think it's going to lose its world reserve currency status. The United States is going to be melded into, the New World Order, financial order, or whatever the hell you want to call it, right? Something like that. But it's going to be the currency of the land over here in the USA for I don't know how long. I mean, maybe not forever. Nothing lasts forever. But I mean, as far as like years from now, it's still going to be the dollar. Even if we lose the world reserve currency status. But here's the big story. And it's not one of these. I'm getting pissed off at this pastor guy more I think about the stuff he told me and all his garbage. Well, he was good back when Ken Fromm was alive, but ever since that guy died, all bad information. But anyway, the thing is, it's a company that's actually take, like I said, natural gas and make it into liquid gas. And it's not just in the testing phase, it's actually in the production phase. And they got enough capability that in a few years, they could be doing like a sizable, significant, far more than 10% of the energy needs of the United States for liquid fuel. Easily. A lot higher than that even. But that's putting it, I'm lowballing it because they mentioned a number a lot higher than that. I was like, I don't know about this crap. But, when you hear this, you're thinking, hey, the price of oil is going down. Now, the price of oil is going down right now in the silver and the gold because the markets are collapsing due to the bad PMI. I knew that if an event like that happened with the bad PMI, everything goes down. I knew that. If the Middle East blows up or something, then oil goes up, gold goes up, and the markets go down. If they devalue the dollar, or they say the outlook for the dollar is bad, or the U.S. debt's bad, then oil goes down, the markets go down, and gold goes up. I don't know what event's going to occur here, but exactly. But what I'm thinking is, every time these yo-yos put out something about, like, hey, we're going to have $1.70 a gallon gas here pretty soon in the next few years. Maybe that'll be true. Maybe that'll be true. But in the interim, it might go up to $8, $10. So, like, when you're planning ahead, you're like thinking, oh, wait a minute, But this also means the USA is going to be the #1 premier energy producer in the world because of the technology. They're not going to allow this free energy, 0-point energy stuff to come on board, man. It probably exists, I think there's better ways of actually propelling cars and stuff and transportation. But the thing is, they're not going to give up their rackets. They're going to make it cheaper, and they're going to have a patent on the technology, and they're going to export it to the world. And we're going to only be ones know how to use it. Is that going to be bad for the U.S. dollar and the collapse of the USA? Hell no, buddy. Hell no. That's not going to... What could possibly happen is, someday the Russians might get pissed off and Zhirinovsky might get drunk and hit the buttons on a freaking high-tech nuclear laser weapons or some shit and blow up a bunch of cities in the United States. Then we'll have a collapse. because Vladimir Zhirinovsky got drunk one night. He says, "Oh, these freaking," you know what I mean? Then something can happen. I don't know. There's one day that might happen, but I can't forecast that. But from what it looks like, U.S. ain't going away, man. These doom and gloomers are full of it. They're full of it. Now, I still say the metals are going to super spike, though. And, it's almost like the opposite of what the alternative media says is what happens. That's what it is. The whole sky was supposed to fall in July and in August and blah, 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 and you see what's happening. I think it's actually going to start taking off here late summer, late summer's into September. But that's only like a month away now. I mean, it should be by the end of August taking off. And, if we're going to have this bubble like in silvers, I think there's going to be a preliminary spike in the metals and oil before the next middle of the next the center of the financial crisis. I'm thinking the center of the financial crisis is going to be that September 2015 date. I know it's the fourth blood moon of 7 years on the Hebrew calendar. I'm not going by that like I'm superstitious on that. I'm just saying, I think the powers that be do this stuff. So, if we see a big run-up in the metals here, and it doesn't take long, it's like they sit flat. That's why silver's the devil's metal. It doesn't do nothing. Takes off like a crazy. They're going to hear all these people saying, $500 silver, $1,000 silver, $2,000 silver, because it went up to $35 or $38 or something. And that's but it looks like, long term, if this technology is legit, it's in production. They're taking natural gas, and which we have loads of, and they're making it into fuel, gasoline. And you know what? On operational cost, running bare bones on mines, 50% of the expenses is fuel. That's your typical mining operation. So that'll bring down the mining cost. But that doesn't mean, like I said, with hula hoops and things like that, I don't want to compare hula hoops to silver, but, as far as central use. But it's almost like, if there's a marketing panic out there for something, the price can go way the hell up. And where the bottleneck is going to be is on the end product coins. It's like with hula hoops, there was plenty of plastic in the world. They're never going to run out of plastic. But you had to have hula hoops. I mean, you're probably going to get pissed off at that example, but it's the only thing I can really think to drive it home. Or there's going to be a bottleneck in silver at times. Is it going to be the end product of coins? There's going to be loads of silver in the mines. There's going to be loads of silver in the ground. There's going to be loads of silver stacked up someplace. And, you can't have... there's not going to be all these people out there able to stamp out coins left and right, especially the desirable ones, like the ones coming from the government mints, where, it's just like a demand, and this is what the demand is, and all of a sudden there's like a big demand to get into it. It could just drive up the end product of coins a lot. Where coins are even worth a hell of a lot more than the spot price. It just could be that way. Temporarily, not forever. The spot price will actually start reflecting the coin price, but eventually I think the price of silver will come down after it super spikes, and I think there's two spikes. There's going to be an intermediate spike where it's going to go well over to 50, and then there's going to be a final spike where it could go way to hell over 100 too. I mean I think it's going to settle down a little over 100, but it could go way to hell over 100. I don't know. Because what's going to happen, I think, is the big curveball is events in the Middle East. Like, they have the technology now to produce energy and end product gasoline out of natural gas, which we have plenty of. It's actually being produced. But it's not in the testing phase. It's being done. So it's going to happen in a few years, like where it's really online. That's a few years. And if you take off, if there's a major war in the Middle East, and if 1/3 of Iraq's refineries got knocked out, it would drive the price up of oil to $200 a barrel, despite all this technology existing and starting to come online for real. It wouldn't matter, because it's here and now. You know, it's like a product you got to have now. It's like air, you know? I mean, you got to breathe, you got to pay for the air, and that's it. You know, fuel is air, right? And, you know, if we have a war, if there's a war between Iran and Saudi Arabia and all their production starts getting knocked down, oh, well, these smokes, it could be, I don't know, yeah, astronomically high prices, but it's a spike. It's a spike. It's not going to stay there forever, you know? And you never know what can happen after that. I don't know, but it looks like long term, though, and I'm not talking really, really long term, the USA is going to be the biggest exporter of oil and gasoline and energy, and the dollar's not going away. God. Anyway, and, you know, this is just a normal market cycle. So we had the second longest bull run in the Dow and the S&P, you know, the equities, in the last 100-something years. So it starts going down, and everybody's going, the end is near, and the end ain't near. It's a normal cycle. You know, it's probably going to be the bottom of the next normal cycle is going to be September 2015. You know, unfortunately, I don't know for absolutely certain if the price of silver, like if there's no blow up in the Middle East, if that doesn't happen, and it's all the simmering tensions behind the scenes, silver's going to just kind of like stay flat, go steady, go down a little bit. I don't think it's going to go down that much, but it's going to go down a little bit. But there's too many different political tensions going on in different areas, and it's like, you know, it's like you can't tell when it's going to happen. But the situation can change overnight. But like I said, that's what I'm talking about. Super spike. Spike means it goes up too fast, then comes down. I think silver is going to be down sometime. You know, if it goes way the hell up here pretty soon, say from starts taking off in late summer, like I was saying, late August to September of 2014, it can do the same pattern as we did in 2010, 2011. Take off like a rocket and then crash at the end of April, you know, and you'll be able to tell. It'll be going up $1.50 a day or something like that at the end, and then go and of course, you know, the big guys at the top, they're rolling, you know, you're subscribing to newsletters and stuff too and all that stuff, they'll be selling. I gotta take a shot at them because, you know, what the hell, man, they know what's going on. What the hell are they kidding, right? But then there'll be another charge up, because all this highfalutin technology that they really, really do have that's in production, isn't going to be able to come online full steam and real fast. And if the Middle East actually has a lot of their oil production knocked out due to political instability, the USA's production is not going to be able to take up the slack for the rest of the world's demand that fast. And the big guys in the United States are pushing to be able to export oil and energy and gas and fuel or whatever the hell have you. And they're going to make a lot of money. The United States ain't going down, man. The only way the United States is going down is, like I said, Vladimir Zhirinovsky gets drunk one night on a few bottles of vodka, and he hit some nuclear buttons or something like that, and consider Obama screwed up all our defenses and stuff. That might be a problem. Then we got a problem. But if that happens, you're not going to be worrying about silver too much. You know what I mean? Except to ward off vampires and evil spirits and zombies from the apocalypse that are probably surviving. I don't know, whatever you're going to be doing with that stuff. Anyway, but yeah, so I just want to put this out because it's a little interesting to us, because, you know, fuel prices, oil prices, and gold and silver, and they're not a really super good correlation like when things are staying flat, but when oil goes up, the rest of them go up. Now, it looks like long term, oil is going to go down because of these new technologies. But in the short term, something could happen. Well, I don't know. And that's the thing. I keep thinking something's going to happen in the Middle East because it looks like something's going to happen, but it doesn't. It's like, you know, the Iraq refinery, the biggest one, was on fire a few weeks ago, and then, like, what happened? The price of oil went up a little bit, then it went down. I'm like, it's like I think somebody up there knows what's going on. They probably got rebels that are working for the elite, and the elite are saying now's the time to go hit them because we're gonna like run options on the oil and stuff. And Vladimir Putin's probably in on that deal too, and he's running that through his Gunvor, whatever the hell it is up there in Switzerland, based in Cyprus. So when he makes money off that garbage, off the commodities, the capital gains, he doesn't get taxed, right? That's what goes on. But my point on this, though, again, was, long term, it looks like the dollar's not going away. The USA is going to be strong. The fuel's going to get cheaper. Maybe. Well, the caveat on the fuel being cheaper is if all the world's production's the same. But if they blow the hell up out of the Middle East, they can charge anything they want for stuff that's even cheaper to produce here and export it. And the fuel might not be cheaper. That's another thing. I got to think of how they think. Business, damn it. And but when I hear these stories, like gas is going to go way down because of this real process, I think it's bullshit in a lot of ways, because it's like, even though that could be pretty soon, that doesn't mean what's going to happen in the next 6 months to 8 months. What's going to happen? Gas and oil can go way the hell up, even though it's going down today. It's almost like whatever they put out in stories, like it's like ISIS and Iraq is going to be divided up into 3 parts, and oil refineries on fire, and the oil price of oil goes down. Now they're putting out stuff where they're saying, the gasoline's going to go down to like nothing. It's going to go back up. I'm getting wise to these guys, man. Anyway, so I'm sticking with my the normal prediction. I said late summer, which is like early September, should be taking off. And if it gets too far ahead of itself, it's gonna crash faster than it took off. And then there'll be a new bottom sometime in 2015. Then it'll go back up again. I don't know this for a fact, but I think it's like what's going to happen. Because these guys are good for throwing people for loops, man, left and right. And I'm watching out for this garbage. I don't know for sure. I just using common sense, though. If it does go up that damn fast, I'm dumping some of this stuff. I know I am, definitely. And long term, U.S. dollars ain't going away. I mean, that's pretty much proving it right there. Because you can say, we don't have the gold. Well, if we got oil, we don't need damn gold. You know what I'm saying? We got oil and we got natural gas. And we got the ability to produce energy products that the whole world needs. That's more important than any damn thing there is. That's just the way it is. Over and out.